SSA Midsummer Classic. We're going to be kicking it off in a couple of minutes. Signature and money line, signature to home team. Meanwhile, on the other diamond, a young Gravediggers team had tied the game heading into the bottom of the sixth at 11, and High Y has opened up a little bit, 15-11. So what you're about to see is going to be Chicago-style 16-inch softball. You're going to see it correct. We do not wear gloves in 99% of what we do out here. 60-foot bases. You can lead off, but you can't steal. 38 feet from the rubber to the point of home plate. 6-12 on the arc. It is an open count tonight. No fence, so it's going to be all you can get. And they usually play this fence line all the way down. And we swing heavy bats here. 38 ounces, up to 38 ounces. 34 inches long, 2 1/4, and Spaghetti trying to throw me off my rhythm. It ain't working.
What size ball they use?
It's a 16-inch clincher. It stays hard out of the box, and it is not a mush ball.
For mosquitoes?
Huh?
We have to get someone to spray the field for mosquitoes.
Well, usually they're just attracted to you. So when you're around, we don't gotta put chemicals.
That sweet blood.
You know, JFK Jr. says no pesticides. And please, I don't need the political comment. It's a joke, folks. So they take the field here. Money line is going to go with Lenny Gonzalo. If you're following the Chicago Summer Series, and this is our third leg in the Summer Series. And if you go to the top of our page, we got a links page where you can go to Game Changer, our live bracket board, which right now it is does not have the Gravedigger score in there. 45's won 2 games today. They stay clean, and High Y now in the top of the 7th is going to try to hold off the Gravediggers and go clean in their 2 games. So this is a standalone game, and Iron and Meatball City will be playing on the other diamond. They should be in the right dugout, so we should be able to give you some online updates as that game progresses. So Signature's had kind of a strange year. They're clearly one of the better teams in softball. They won the TOC, the first leg of the Summer Series, went clean, and then they went to the North-South and went 1-2, and they were out on Saturday. So they're looking to bounce back, and I expect them. And here's Lenny Gonzalo. Lenny off to a torrid start, saw him in the dome, thought he might be one of those breakout players. He was playing with Players Inc. and maybe wasn't getting any attention, but Lenny, a good solid hitter. Moneyline has been scoring a lot of runs, so this could be a high-scoring game. Signature also big boy offense. So here we go. First hitter of the game, Lenny Gonzalo. And game starts with a strike. That pitch a little outside. So it looks like Signature got their full squad out here. I don't think they're missing anybody. And of course, Moneyline, a little bit of a team in transition with Marty Dozen. And there's a flare, and that's what Lenny does. And he's going to churn and get into second with a sliding double leading off the ball game. Moneyline's problem this year is they keep falling behind 5-6-0 in the first. And then they have to make furious comebacks. But they're still alive in that suspended North-South tournament, the second leg. And so they're one of the 6 teams left. And they scored a boatload of runs there, but it was a strange weekend. We've had a lot of wind out here, but very calm night. You can see the flag there down, not much wind at the top of the trees, so it should be a good clean game in that context.
Coming up.
And we'd like to thank Richie Orico for all his hard work. They got a lot of rain out here last night, and it poured around 3:45, and Richie got these fields looking great. And there's a ground ball to Haas, a little bobble, and Anthony Scarlatta fell down, and the run's going to score. So you don't see that often. He tripped over the bag. Haas bobbled it, and then all of a sudden You'll see here, Scar kind of tripped over the bag, and he's got great footwork. And then the ball bounced around, and that allows the first run of the ball game to score. And here's Jason Gannick. And the top 3 or 4 guys on this money line team have been doing a lot of damage this year. And Jason Gannick, a very quiet kid, pretty darn good shortstop, off to a good offensive start as well, as is Brian Davis, this guy over here. So 1-0 very early here.
Nice pitch, nice pitch.
And that Gravedigger game is over. It ends 15-11 high Y. So here's Gannick. And that ball's a little deep. And there's a little soft fly ball tracking it in center. Is Navarro, and he dropped it. He kind of stumbled a little bit, and he dropped the ball, second and third. So Signature, normally a very sure-handed defensive team. Last 2 hitters, they've had a little bit of an issue. Looked like Navarro got there, but then he too kind of stumbled a little bit, and he dropped the ball. So here's Rob Grisano. He'll also be pitching when we get to the bottom of the first.
Nobody out. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Nobody out here with Ryan Drabel on deck. So nobody out, second and third here. I think if you're money line, you're just trying to figure out how to get out of this inning. Money line executes. They could put up a minimum of 3 here. And Robbie's capable of driving the ball to right center. He used to do it a lot more. Now he likes to cut or drive if you cheat him in left. And Robbie, a hard cut. He gets it over Haas. 2 runs are going to score. 3-0. So Rob Grisano helps his own cause with a beautiful tomahawk line drive into left center field. So again, when you got a guy like Robbie who likes that hard cut, and you throw him that ball up around his eyes, that's do not disturb. So 3-0 here brings up Ryan Drabel.
Hey, let's go, Ray. I'm down, Ray. Let's go, kids. Some more hard.
Again, this is a tournament, so there is no courtesy runners like we see during league play.
Way back. He's way back.
And Drebo apparently felt the pitcher was taking too much time. He stepped out. And Drabel slaps it fair down the left field line. Grisano will chug into third, and Drabel gets himself a stand-up double. So money lines come out swinging the bats. Backup pitcher for them is Enrique Munoz Jr., and I don't see him on the bench. Unless he's hiding on me. The other backup pitcher is Alan Mills. So this could be a situation where a couple of more hits, we might see a change.
Come on, Brian. Brian, still nobody out. Keep it going. Keep the line moving.
And that's going to bring up Brian Gannick. He's playing second base today. On deck hitter is Eric Davis, Brian Davis's brother, and that's their proud dad right there, Red. So money lines come out, they're barreling up. A couple of defensive bobbles have kind of opened the door a little bit. And for the second time in the inning, they got second and third, nobody out. Yes, Russ, that would be Eric Davis, and he is here. He's on deck.
good, you're good. You're good, you're good.
And there's a swing, and Navarro gets a read, secures it. Another run will score. So he hit it hard, but right at the center fielder, who closed fast and made the catch. And that's an example where you're okay with the RBI, but you kind of wish you would have been able to push the runner to third there. And here's Eric Davis. And Davis, a Humpty off the third baseman. That's going to score another run as Eric Davis hit a bullet. Danny Marston leaped in the air but couldn't make the catch. And the ball dribbled down the line. And it's 5-0 money line. And that brings up Nick Drabel.
Come on, Nick.
Nicky playing short center, also part owner of Sweet Buzz, one of our Chicago Summer Series anchor partners. And we'll get to a little bit more on that. If you're an adult and you use infused products, check them out. Catch Nick during the weekend. I'm sure he'll fill you in on it. And please use them responsibly. Nick calls it. Spencer trying to thread the needle. Good job by Eric Davis to get back. So there's 2 outs now. And it brings up Chris Downs. Of course, Larry Downs, his brother, is in the Hall of Fame. Chris started out with the Lemonheads, had a stint with the 45s, Players Inc., and now he's here with Moneyline. So Eric Davis will be running on the swing. As Moneyline's come out swinging the bats. And we told you, they've been scoring a lot of runs. Ian Holst on deck. And I'll be curious, and now a ball from the other diamond. They're still taking a little BP down there. Is that High Y played 2 long games down there. Los Barachos, they won, I believe that was 10-6, and then the slugfest with the Gravediggers. So here's Chris. And he hits a little roller up the middle. Spencer Mahoney to throw in time. So that ball tailed back to Scarlatta. When it left his hand, you could see I moved back on it. I thought it was going to be well wide, but we're going to head to the bottom of the first inning. 5-0 money line, although they got the wrong inning up there. So Signature gets their chance here in the bottom of the first. It's going to be Danny Marston, Mark Manizzi, Spencer Mahoney. And Spencer rapidly putting himself into the team picture. When you talk about the best players in the game, he might already be the best player in the game. And a lot of good players on the field for this one. So here's Marston. Started out with Impact. Then he went over to the 45s for a year. And eventually made his way over here to Signature. Had a tremendous Chicago Summer Series last year, was the hits leader. He had like 129 hits. Some guys didn't even have 70 at-bats. And Marston up the middle, right to Drabel. And a little pitch and catch. And Danny does like to work left center, right center. And usually Danny will elevate that ball. That time he kind of just topped it. Bottom of the first, Severius. And that brings up Mark Manizzi. So we talk a lot with, Mark Manizzi. He had big shoes to fill when he came here, when Kevin Duff left to start the circus team. Came over here from Impact. They got quite a few guys that played on Impact. And has really turned into one of the better second basemen. So this time he flies out, and it brings up Mahoney.
Nothing over your
So
head.
I think money line came out hard,
Pop,
and
lot of pop.
I don't think he'll go here.
I don't think Signature is going to give up the fight, but they're off to a little bit of a slow start. So here's Mahoney, and Spencer is a oddity in the fact that he can pull the ball and hit it 300 plus feet, but he can go the opposite way and hit it 300 plus feet. And normally we see guys that can turn and burn, as I like to say, and they can really drive it, but then the opposite field, they don't have much. That's not the case here. And he's a difficult guy because you got to play him so deep, and he hits a lot of humpbacks. And as an outfielder, I mean, you can't get much deeper on a field without a fence. And there he does shoot it the other way. And Eric Davis, a little bobbled, but he held on. So he gave it a ride the opposite way. Davis makes the catch, and we're going to head to inning number 2. Now you're a manager. You're begging your guys to stay intense. You don't want them to sit back and say, "Oh, we got 5 runs," and be happy. This is when I used to tell my guys, greed is good. We got 5, but we got to try to get to 6, to 7, to 8, because Signature got a powerful offense, and you don't want to let them breathe and get their legs under them. So leading off is going to be Ian Holst, the center fielder, and then back to the top with Lenny Gonzalo and Brian Davis.
Come on, every inning, let's go.
And there's such a difference between league play and tournament play. When you come out and these teams play each other, you can feel how much more intense it is. And there's a strike. So big inning for Signature. And Ian Holst, a little dribbler, back to Donnie Rollins, and he makes the play for out number 1. So here's Lenny. 1 out, nobody on. So the innings started a little better for Signature, and that they got the leadoff man. I don't think they got their first out last inning until they were 6, 7 guys deep into the ball game.
Let's go, Donnie. I'm back. Here we go. Here we go.
And there he grabs a strike. And again, in games like this, you don't want to put guys on with how well everybody can swing. And there's a little roller to Mahoney. And Spencer, high throw, and they call him out. Umpire thought he came up, went up, and came down. We'll show you the replay. You can be the judge. Again, Spencer's had some issues today. He threw a
Off the base.
So there's the replay. You can make up your own mind. So 2 up, 2 down brings up Brian Davis. Again, Spencer got a strong arm. So and he's usually pretty accurate, but that throw sailed on him a little bit. And there's a ground ball up the middle, base hit. So 2-out base hit. It brings up Jason Gannett. Brian Davis will be running on the swing here.
Where's Cruz around? He's consistent though.
Consistently.
So right now, Signature hoping to get out of this with the goose egg. And Gannett drives it up the middle, base hit. Davis will chug into third. They throw it in, runners on the corner, so a little 2-out threat. As Brian Davis called safe, Gannett grounds a single, and it brings up Rob Gastrano. 2-run single in the first. And these are the runs that really, when you're playing a team, these are the ones that start getting into your head a little bit. When you get the first 2 guys out, and then if a team comes back and scores 2 or 3. Because, as I'm fond of saying, part of the game is trying to impose your will on the other guy. And Robbie, that's going to be way foul. No, fair ball. And Robbie, and Lane Neiman a little conservative over there. They threw the ball to second and they bobbled the relay. Gannett had already shut it down. And like I said, that's when you want to tell your base runner, turn and look, so that he's not kind of at a standstill or going back to the base. And then when you get that bobble, it's too late to turn it back on. So here's Ryan Drabel. They do pick up the 6th run. So very good job here with 2 outs. Of putting something on the board. And Drabel smokes it fair down the line. Another run scores. Gerson, now it goes out of play. Robbie would have scored, but the ball was hit right down the line. It started bouncing. And we'll show you what the issue is. See, the fence doesn't go all the way down on either side. Had that fence gone all the way down, that ball would have stayed in play and they would have had another ball game, another run, excuse me. So they are going to make the change. Enrique Munoz Jr., also known as Q, is going to come in for Donnie Rollins. All of this with 2 outs, and now they got 2 more ducks on the pond here. And it's Brian Gannett. They got Bryans, they got Ryans, they got a Brian with a different spelling.
Ryans, Eric, 2 Erics we got too.
Yeah. They got a couple of Drabels, a couple of
3 sets of brothers.
There are 3 sets of brothers on this team. And before Marty Dozen moved, they had a father-son.
Neiman.
Neiman and Neiman, right. Sounds like a law firm. So, another big spot here. Basic could make it 9-0. It's Brian Gannett. And I know Maddie, Lane, Red, they're all high on this kid. They think he's got a world of talent.
Nobody near you. Coming up. Heavy. Heavy. 6 foot on that
Threw
ball.
kind
Come
of
on,
a flat strike to him. He doesn't look like he's got a lot of movement yet with his lower body. And normally when you see that, you don't really want to flatten out to a guy. You assume he's a baseball guy. And there he mishit it. No, G5 comes in and makes the catch. G5. Sliding catch to save a couple of runs. Greg Fleming doing the job there, bailing out the pitcher. That ball was almost a little bit of a miss hit. You can see G5, great jump, sliding underneath, makes the catch. So we head to the bottom of the second, 7-0 money line. And again, I would be surprised if Signature gave up the fight. It's not in their DNA. But Moneyline doing what they got to do. They came out hard and heavy. And meanwhile, that game finally started. They're in the top of the first down there. Iron and Meatball City. So Meatball hitting in the top of the first. So we'll give you periodic updates. So here's Anthony Scarlatta leading off. No, Russ, he ended up changing jobs and he moved out of state. It'll be interesting to see if he can get time off and maybe come in for the no glove. But and Scarlatta breaks up the no hitter, even though there are only 4 hitters in. So cancel the post game. Leadoff single for Scarlatta brings up that man G5, Greg Fleming. Of course, Greg started out with the Pharaohs, came over here last year, and I like Greg's attitude. He's a kid that works at it, and he really wants to be a top flight player, and he's getting there fast. Already a very good outfielder, and he does hit the ball hard, and there's a little bobble and safe at second. So it looked like Ganek was just going to try to shovel it over there, and he dropped the ball. And he still tried it, but
got speed, get it in.
So that's going to bring up Dave Navarro. Now Dave can fly. If you're an infielder here, you got to know what you're going to do with the ball.
Nothing here, you're good.
And if you have any kind of a bobble and think you're going to throw across, that's not going to work.
Out here.
If you're on the left side here, you're thinking about the ball's hit to your right hand, maybe getting the fielder's choice. And there they just go ahead and they take the out at first, as Brian Ganek would have had to really turn with his hips if he was going to get a fielder's choice. So it brings up Tyler McCullough, might have the best hair in softball. And base hit here would put Signature right back in the game, and their body language all of a sudden looks a lot better. And there's a roller the other way. Ganek, strong arm. G5 takes off, and he gets the third. But Signature breaks the seal. They're on the board at 7-1. And I like what Ganek did there. He didn't fool around. He didn't look home. He just caught the ball and threw a strike right away to first, knowing McCullough can fly. Here comes Matt Manizzi, Mark Manizzi's brother. Yeah, Dave, no gloves. So here we go. 2 outs here. See if Signature's got any, and that's knocked down. Robbie right where he should be. And Ryan Drabel had way more time than he thought. He rushed the throw, and that allowed the run to score with 2 outs. So they plate 2 here. And you can see here on the replay, I mean, the runner's not even in the anywhere near the neighborhood. So he had a little more time there. And here's Brian Haas. Yeah, Dave, I think I responded to one of your comments in the live stream. I don't know if you saw it, but 99% of what we do out here is no glove. And we run several national championship tournaments without the glove at the B and the A level. And we do run 2 glove national championships for Class A, 1 for Class A, and 1 for the major division. So Brian Haas, another duck on the pond, and it looks like Chris Pakulis is on deck swinging a bat. If he gets an opportunity, they're probably going to hit for Enrique Munoz, who came in for Donnie Rollins. And there's a little chopper, and Nick Drabel, very solid, makes the play. So we're going to head top of the third, 7-1 money line.
Hey, change your number again. Come on, score every inning.
Oh, no problem, Dave. Tell your friends. Part of what we do here is spreading the gospel. And this game was founded in Chicago at the boat club in Lake Michigan. They were waiting for like the Yale-Harvard score or something like that. And they wrapped up a boxing glove and hit it with a broomstick. So this game is well over 100 years old. It's religion out here in Chicago. And we're starting to see teams play more 16-inch in Southern California, Arizona, Oregon, Iowa. Now most of the out-of-state teams, they play with the Mets. But especially in Iowa, more and more of the teams out there are dabbling and trying to get better at the no-glove game. Chuck's is a good example. They're very tough with or without the glove. And so leading off, Eric Davis here.
Come on, Eric. Come on, kid. Come on, kid. Anyway, let's go.
It wouldn't have surprised me. George Bliss, older than dirt. I heard a rumor he was at the Last Supper. And there's a bullet. Marston, a little bobble, and he can't recover. Leadoff man on. And I asked him about the Last Supper. I said, what's up with that Jesus cat? And he said, you know, nice guy, but all he wanted to do was give you life advice. Not a great tipper. Just kidding. So here is the short center now, Nick Drabel, leadoff man on. And Signature has had a couple of little bobbles that have helped Moneyline along the way here. So we got a 7-2 ball game.
Coming up.
And that pitch a little deep. And there's a little pop-up, and we're looking right into a car. I can't even see G5, but he made the catch. Meanwhile, bottom of the first, Meatball City leading. Can't tell if that's a 2 or a 3. It looks like 3-1, iron batting. So here comes Chris Downs now with Ian Holst on deck.
Hey, we got one dead. Sure one. Let's go. Yeah.
Chris takes that pitch a little deep. See my broadcast partner, Jerry Brown, checking in. And that pitch a little flat, a little heavy. And there's a strike. And there's a hard ground ball. This could be 2. Mahoney with the long reach. Not in time at first. And you can't teach 6'5" with long arms, and that's what saved that play. For the average shortstop, that ball would have been over the top. And it brings up Ian Holst. And there's a sky-high pop-up, and that'll end the inning. So Ian Holtz pops up. Signature gets what they needed, which was their first goose egg of the day. So it's going to be Chris Pakulis. So I'm just marking my lineup card, folks. Bear with me. So we're going to head to the bottom of the third. Seven to 2. Tighten up here a little bit. So here's Pick. He's on the Lugnut team. Came over here when Jeff Baytall came in. He launches one, but getting a beat on it, Ian Holston center makes the catch. So Pick hit it a little too much oxygen under that. Ball hung up in the air. And Ian Holst, who can run, was able to get there. He brings up Danny Marston. So I was kidding Robbie Grisano before the game. Part of the problem was Robbie was giving up a lot of runs real early in ball games, and then he was settling in. And, you know, Moneyline got an opportunity here to hit first, losing the toss. And Marston and Jason Ganick had a beat on it, but could not make the catch. So one out base runner, Jason Ganick. That ball was hit pretty hard. Danny is kind of a slim looking dude, but he generates a lot of power, and you can see there he really hit that right on the screws. So that will bring up Mark Manizzi now, running on first with one out.
Good boy, Robbie. Way to get on top. Good boy, Robbie. Go, Mark. Go, Mark.
And there's, he pokes it the other way. Nick Drabol, and Marston will go to third. So he hit it right between the short center and the shortstop. Nick did a great job to get it, but with the lefty running down the line, you might as well stick that in your back pocket. And as a result, you got runners on the corner now for Spencer Mahoney. And they are deep everywhere.
Way back over here, way back.
And Spencer runs pretty good.
Here we go, Spence.
Well, he's pretty good. You don't get 129 hits if you're not doing something right. And he led off for this club last year as well.
Good second.
So that's a lot of leading off, and a lot of times he's on base. And Mahoney drills it into the alley. That's trouble. Holt's trying to cut it down. One run is in. 2 runs are a 3-run bomb for Mahoney as he shoots it the other way. And Signature closes to within 2. Again, he hit that ball hard. Might have been dancing a little bit. Holtz got there, but when he reached down to try to corral it, it kind of bounced around a little bit on him. And Mahoney runs pretty good, circled the bases. So here in the bottom of the third, game is tightened up. And again, Signature's won about everything you can win. And they got a lot of veterans who have been through a lot of it. And there's a high pop-up. Holtz now running around, and he dropped the ball.
Right here.
Come on, Greg, let's go.
So a lot of the outfielders seem to be a little unsteady out there. We did have that rain. I'm not sure if the outfield could be a little soft on them. Matty Dozen going to come out, try to slow the game down. And Signature, whatever issues they were having early, they're snapping out of it. I told you they got a big boy offense. And they're going to the bottom of the second down there. Still 3-1 meatball.
Greg. Here we go.
Think about that, Jerry, in today's game. We got guys that don't show up enough to get 100 at-bats, let alone 128, 129 hits. So here's G5. And Greg lashes a hit toward the alley. Cut off by Davis. Scarlato jog into third. Runners on the corner. One out here. Bottom of the third. And it brings up Navarro. And again, I'll say it again now. Dave can fly. You got to know what you're going to do if he hits you the ball. Let's see if he just tries to roll it the other way and run. Fleming can fly as well. Greg's job is to beat the force out. And that's why a lot of times what you want to do is you want to have consistency if you're running a team in terms of how you set your lineup up. Because a guy like Greg wants to know who's sitting behind him, what his tendencies are. And that's a sky-high fly ball. Holston will make the catch, and Holst will throw it in, but Signature creeps a little closer, 7-6. And it brings up Tyler McCullough. So 7-6 ball game. 2 outs here.
And you're hitting Brian on a base hit. Brian, you're to cut right over here on a base hit. Goes a second.
And McCullough could fly here. And as an outfielder or an infielder, he puts a lot of pressure on you. Because if you're in the outfield and you bobble it, he's going to take extra bases on you.
No.
So 1-1 count here.
Go.
And there's a soft fly ball coming in as Eric Davis. But Signature closes to within 1 as we head to the top of the 4th here. That's why it's 16-inch tournament softball. If you walk out of the room, you miss quite a bit. And they're in the top of the 3rd. Meatball's still up 3-1 down there. And Meatball's got a good club. When they got everybody out, they're tough. And I think a little bit they may be underperforming just a hair this year. I keep waiting for them to fall into a little better rhythm. And Iron, with a group of young kids, most of those kids are 22 years old. They got a couple of 21-year-olds on that team, too. At the Westchester tournament, they beat both Signature, who you're seeing here tonight, and forgot who else they beat. They beat Signature, and they had another big win. And there's a line drive off of Q. Lenny Gonzalo reaches as he hit a missile up the middle. Q reached out, just couldn't make the play.
Let's go. Let's go, kid.
Hex, that's right, they beat Hex. So that Iron team is coming fast. I think they got one more kid that's got to graduate, and then they'll have the full complement full time.
Right. See?
No, they didn't beat Hex. Hex was still alive in that tournament. And they're in the winter bracket championship. That's bad information, Tyler. And there's a little ground ball base hit by Davis, who's been off to a torrid start as well. Well, they're only in the 3rd inning now. So that game's got a long way to go. Although they've kind of caught up to this game because of the hitting, and I think Meatball might have pushed something across. I got like fence posts in the way. So it could be 5-1 down there, but don't quote me on that. Bliss, if you're on there, throw a score up. So here's Jason Ganick first and second here, nobody out.
There we go, there we go.
Yeah, and they beat Flashback the other day out in Forest Park. And there's a high fly ball the other way. And Brian Davis did not tag. Gonzalo did. He'll move into third. So it's going to bring up Robbie Grisano. So Robbie, chance to help himself. Finds himself, all three of his at-bats have been RBI situations.
Home 2, home 7, let's go, babe.
And Robbie drills it off of Marston and a run scores. Spencer Mahoney, who's been known to follow the play and snatch some of those deflections, just couldn't get there, was just out of reach. Again, Spencer, a long kid, and as an infielder, follow the ball.
Here we go, here we go.
So here's Ryan Drabel, 8-6 now, money line.
Yeah, Frank.
And Drabel walks the dog down the right field line. One run is in. Grisano chugs his way into third. Ryan Drabel, a beautiful swing, ripped the line drive right down the right field line. Scored another run, 9-6. So second and third, 1 out. It seems like Moneyline's had second and third almost every inning. And here's Brian Gannick.
You're good.
Again now, Brian is a younger kid, experience-wise. What you'd like to see is just
You're good.
not necessarily a line drive at an infielder. And elevating he does. 2 more runs are going to score. He hits the gap. G5 can't pick it up clean. He's going to make it into third. Long throw, not in time. 2-run triple. And Moneyline, after Signature closes to 1, come back with a good answer as they put up
Hey, there's only 1 out.
4 runs and counting. Another good RBI situation here for Eric Davis. And we'll see how long they go with Q and whether or not they want to try somebody else. Oh, sky high. And that's going to be well out of play. He was clearly trying to elevate to try to drive that run and just hit it up the elevator shaft. And Meatball City there in the 4th can't see the score. And I know it's going to be hot Saturday, so we may try to stream a game early in the day. Equipment just doesn't work well, and it's supposed to be 95. And there's a little knuckleball down the line, fair ball, it drops. And Davis admiring I think Eric thought that ball might have been going foul. He didn't really run hard. It dropped fair, and then G5 kind of mishandled it, and it hit the fence there. But that's why we always say 5-1 Meatball. And now they are going to make the switch. Third pitcher of the game now for Signature as Alan Mills Jr. comes in. And we're sitting on 12-6, still only 1 out here. Another 5-run inning to go along with the 5 they got in the first. And we told you that they've been scoring, and now they make the switch. They put Scarlata at third, and Matt Menizzi, who was in the lineup extra hitting, is going to go to third base. And Scar's an interesting player. He's got a batting title at a SSA Major National Championship tournament. He's one of the best third basemen in the game, and he's also one of the better first basemen in the game. And really, when you look at how he hits and defends at either position, you could say he might be the best at either. So money line here in the top of the fourth has already put 4 on, and Nick Drabel steps in the box, 1 out, 1 on.
Let's go, kid. He's down driving. Hey, Eric, come on.
Right.
Here we go.
Right.
Oh, Nick, your pitch. Oh, Nick, your pitch.
100% correct, Jerry. And here's Nick, and he hits a little spinner,
No.
and they'll grab an out. You might have heard Matt saying no. Big swing there, but he just spun it. Saw Alan Mills kind of on his heels, and he had to kind of stop and come forward. Clutched it like a newborn to his chest. So now they're going to hit for Chris Downs, and the pinch hitter comes through. And now the throw gets away, and everybody's running around here. So the pinch hitter, Nick Jacob, hits another rocket.
He's in the game in the center field.
Oh, okay, he's going in for. Okay, is Ian going to right?
Yes, Ian's in right now.
Okay, so Nick is going to stay in the game.
Chris is out.
He hit for Larry Downs, and Ian Holst, the center fielder, is going to shift to right field. And Holst turns and burns, foul. If it was fair, I don't think Tyler would have got to it. Would have been big trouble. Would have scored at least 1, maybe 2. And I like that. I had talked to him during the Dome. I think sometimes Ian has a tendency to keep his hands very static. He doesn't load them. And when I talk about loading your hands, it's just bringing the bat back 3-4 inches so you can generate a little more momentum and speed on your swing. Because this ball on contact will wrap around the barrel. Go to the tournament page, and there's a little weird spinner. Good hands, good feet by Menizzi, and they get out of the inning. But good answer there as they put 5 up, and they extend the lead to 6.
Nice hit, boys. Nice hit.
Hey, way to get those guys back. Hey, they got 4, we got 5. They got 4, we got 5.
So, and they're going to head now to the top of the 5th down there. Meatball City's still winning. It's Matty Dozen's better half checking in.
Nice hit, Nick.
So that was an impressive answer after Signature close to 1. Now they've been kind of battling uphill the entire game, and halfway through they're down 6. Biggest lead of the night for Moneyline was 7. And I would think my Signature's again not going to be done.
Working. Who wants this ball now? Let's go. Let's play a little D.
Big deep ball game.
And there's a hard ground ball. Robbie deflects it. Drabel makes the play. And that's a tough call for an umpire because, as you can see here, there might have been a little bobble there, but in a one umpire game, the way Nick's body was, or Ryan's body was turned there, you can't really see the hands as he's making the catch. I think he may have pinned it up against his body there, but. So here's Haas, and Brian goes high in the air, and the new center fielder, Nick Jacob, makes the catch for out number 2.
Get 2. Hey, watch the big
And
ball.
Chris Pakulis is going to come in and take his second swing of the game.
Yepper.
This time technically for Alan Mills. So
Daddy. Outfield, they good?
Donnie Rollins, Q, and Alan Mills can all re-enter the game. As soon as they put a pitcher out there, Chris Pakulis will be done for the evening because he's already done his double re-entry.
Get us out of here. Come on, Robbie.
And again, the rule is you can have 42 guys in the slot as long as they don't get hit or run for and don't come in. You can line it up like a runway. So here's Pick. I don't know what happened there. If the ball just slipped out of his hand there, I'm not sure. And Pick, a hard ground ball to Drable, little pitch and catch, high throw, and he stepped on the bag. And you know, that's a perfect example, kids. If you're playing first, you saw there Ryan Drable trying to get back to the white base. That's why you got the safety base. That throw takes into foul territory like that did. You can hit the, well, it's hard to tell. It's a little dirty, but it's kind of an orange base there. And you don't have to cross over back into fair territory, and that's why we almost had a collision there. So we're going to head top of the 5th. Money line up 6, looking for more. And let's pay some bills. I'd like to thank Sweet Buzz and Nick Drable for being a corporate anchor partner for the SSA Summer Series. They sell infused products. If you're an adult and you use them, check them out. Talk to Nick. Please use them responsibly. I'd like to thank Rich Melman and Let Us Entertain You Restaurants. Nick, one of our longest sponsors. He's been with us since day one. So we appreciate and love you, Rich. Here's Lenny Gonzalo, top of the money line lineup.
Okay, here we go.
And we'll get to a few more. And that pitch is inside. I'd like to thank Ray Zarnick and the Zarnick family who underwrites the 2025 SSA Tom Egg Zarnick Class A No Glove National Championship Tournament. You can find Ray. He's at Ziegler Chrysler Dodge Jeep up in Schaumburg. And Lenny just keeps pounding the ball.
Hey, PD, let's go.
Patty Caputo was in the Hall of Fame as a pitcher. So Meatball pushes out the 6th inning. And it brings up Brian Davis. So runner on, nobody out here.
Go, BD. Go, BD.
Here we go. I got it. You're good. You're good. Line her through, Clutch. Line her through.
The money line's done a good job. Last year they had Chris Stout and Marty Doza, and neither one now currently with the team. And they're just plugging and playing, if you will. Very shrewd with their acquisitions. And Davis, this could be a deuce. Low throw to Haas, and
Stay here, Brian.
Matt Menizzi can't secure the ball. So we'll see if that comes back here to maybe haunt signature. And it's going to bring up Jason Gannett.
Let's go, Jay. Let's go, Jay. 2 and 1.
So aside from the one soft inning Moneyline has, they've been keeping the pressure on signature every inning.
Too high.
Let's go. See it down.
Too deep.
See it down. See it down, Jay.
Yeah, could you imagine this team if they had those kids, those 2 kids out here? Because they already swing the bats pretty good.
Yep.
And see, that's a good example. Brian Davis didn't even lead off.
Pick me
He knew it was 3-0 or 3-1, and he knew Jason was going to go ahead and take that pitch. And Robbie Grisano finds himself in another RBI situation. This is the top of the fifth. Top of the fifth.
Liner through.
And one thing I like about Moneyline is a lot of their hitters don't try to do too much. They have a good sense of what they can do, and usually it's hitting something hard over the infield. And Allen grabs a strike there, his home plate jumping around a little bit on him.
Hey, going out now. Come on, Robbie. Come on, Robbie. You and Ryan. Come on, 4-1. Let's go, Robbie.
With Ryan Drebo on deck. And Robbie hits another missile. Another run scores. Gannick to third.
Elevate that fucking ball.
So Robbie pitching a solid game so far. Seems like every time he comes up, he's in good RBI spots, and he's been coming through. Oh, that's in the fifth inning. It looks like Iron is hitting 6-1 still. So here's Ryan Drebo, walked the dog down the right field line his last time up. And this time he beats it to Spencer over to Haas. And Haas kind of double pumped it, didn't throw it. Another run scores, 14-6.
There's Big Ribby there, Big Ribby.
And it looks like so it looked like Iron had a couple of runners. They can't do anything. They're going to go top of the sixth, 6-1. And here's Brian Gannick.
You're good. 2 out now.
And you see Ryan being very aggressive. In his secondary. Okay, I'm not quite sure how Alan Mills can be in the game with Pick, because Pick hit twice and he was in the pitcher slot, so I think there's something fishy going on there. Because he hit the first time and then they re-entered the pitcher, and there's a 2-out walk, and it brings up Eric Davis. Again, this game started probably 20 minutes before the other game, and the other game's in the 6th, and this game's in the 5th. And Davis pulls it, and Scar will just step on it for the 3rd out. So 14-6, we head to the bottom of the 5th. Eric was trying to elevate, and he beat that ball into the ground. He did hit a line drive off of Marston, I believe, and then he dumped one down the left field line earlier. So he was trying to duplicate that, but Anthony Scarlatta, some of the best hands in 16-inch softball, made the play. So the bad news if you're a Signature fan is you're down 8. The good news is you're at the top of your lineup here, and you still got 2 at-bats. So it'll be Marston, Mark Manizzi, and Mahoney. And Marston gets his 2nd hit of the game, and that's really the part of the field where he's at his best. See, we got a couple of Iowa kids checking us out. One from Hall of Fame and one from F-Town. So here's Mark Manizzi, good start if you're a Signature fan, leadoff man on. And it brings up Manizzi, and he tries to go hard to the gap, but Ian Holtz, center fielder by trade, covered a lot of ground and made it look easy. So Ian Holst couple of nice catches in the game.
Last time.
You see he ran, almost actually overran that ball we see on the replay. I like what he did there, caught the ball with his hands. If you're an outfielder, you got to get into that habit. Too many guys want to belly catch everything, and then when they need to catch it with their hands, they're not confident. So the 45's all hanging out down that third baseline over by the Tito's Handmade Vodka, America's original handcrafted vodka, also one of our sponsors. Please drink responsibly.
Wrong side.
So Mahoney, 3-run bomb his last time. Sure Signature would like to see him duplicate. And this time he tries to pull, but Holst is playing deep, makes the catch and just hits the cutoff man. So Spencer trying to go big. Again, a little too much oxygen. And it brings up Scarlatta now, runner in scoring position. And at this point in the game, you need to score every run you can. So Rob Grisano had one rough inning. Other than that, he's pitched a gem. It is 10 after 5, Amalia. So we're definitely playing 6, and they are playing Scars so deep, he was just trying to finesse something over the infield. And I'm a big believer in RBI situations when you can hit the ball hard and drive it like Scar can. Go to your A swing. So they're in the bottom of the 6th down there. No change in score. And there he just chops it. Drabel on the move and makes the play. Nick Drabel. And we're going to head to the top of the 6th. And if you're money line, you'd like to get to that 10 mark. And you'd like to try to end this in 6 and not have anything crazy happen. And it's going to be Nick Drabel, Nick Jacob, and Ian Holtz, the bottom third of the lineup. You guys might remember Nick. He was on that Falcon Express team, and he was also on that Good Program team. And they got a few guys from that Good Program team that came over. And I think Patty Caputo had a little something to do with that when they were talking about bringing some of these guys in. Because he's always thought the world of Nick. And he did ask me my opinion on some of those guys, and I said, yeah, they'd be a good fit for you guys. Plus, they were coming into a team that needed those specific players, you know, positionally. So it was a good, smooth transition. And Nick stays, no, right at Haas. And a nice job there by Matt Menizian. The Fitbit tracker came off. And he was going to stick that in his pocket. I always laugh when guys are wearing a watch or a, you know, now, you know, everybody's, I got one too, but I never wore it when I played. They're in the 7th. It looks like it's 6-2 now. Iron pushed the run across. And there's a swing and a base hit by Nick Jacob. And now a little bobble by G5. And I tell you, this Nick's a good-looking athlete. He can run. He's hit 2 balls right on the screws. He brings up Ian Holtz.
Rabbit out in right field there.
Huh?
Got a rabbit. He's coming to the infield.
Yeah. And we got a rabbit running through the outfield. And I'm not talking about a player, it's an actual rabbit. And Holst, a little grounder, and he throws it away and it hit the coach. Run will score. And they're trying to, and they want to send the runner back, but the problem is Red is the first base coach. So it wasn't like an ancillary player or coach.
One out.
And well, Ty, I saw your hands. A cup was a good idea.
Oh, now they want it. You gotta play.
Just kidding.
Oh, hit me.
So he should get second. Coach is part of the field, right? Or am I wrong? Oh, it didn't go out here? Oh, I thought it rolled out. The play you said? I thought it rolled out over there.
So they're going to have a discussion. And again, that's why you don't want to have players on the field because nothing good can happen for your team. Now, in that case, it just hit a coach who was trying to get out of the way. And Meatball getting a little insurance down there. Nobody out. It looks like they've just scored a run to make it 7-2. So now they're back to their top and a very hot, dangerous Lenny Gonzalo.
Liner through, 1 out.
So I do want to clarify if there's any managers. And there's he swings and goes opposite, but right at McCullough. And he makes the catch, and Lenny a little aggravated. And he fell into that trap of trying to do something a little different from where he was having success. I never understood that as a hitter. If I was locked in on a ball, I didn't care how many people or how you shifted. I just stayed with it until you got me out.
Back.
And that's the second time picks thrown down here.
A little more, 2 out.
So here's Davis, 2 outs. Holtz can fly. He'll score in a stretch single. And Davis hammers it down the line, but foul. And Holtz would have had to go back. That ball spun past the fence. Brian Davis should hit a gap. They may be able to get to that mercy rule number and really turn the screws on Signature. And again, Moneyline's been hitterish all day, man. They came out in the first and they were barreling up. And they just have not stopped. They've been relentless in this ballgame.
Come on, BD, I need you here.
I got him. Get ready, here we go on this pitch. Way deep, take another one.
And that pitch is a strike. Brian Davis didn't like it, but I never met a hitter who liked a strike call down.
You're good. Go back!
And Davis tries to go big, but McCullough's there. So the game will end up going 7. And we head to the bottom of the 6th, and Signature chasing 9. They really need to get moving here.
Hey, Nick, now we take the easy out.
I want to say it's going to be
Hey, unless it's obvious, hey.
G5, Greg Fleming, Dave Navarro, and Tyler McCullough. So 5, 6, 7 coming up here for Signature, and I think they closed to 7-6, and then Moneyline came right back and put up a crooked number.
Here we go.
And that may have taken the fight out of them. And Greg Fleming, he's not giving up. A little overhand tomahawk. And Greg, another base hit, having himself a fine ball game. And it brings up Navarro. And that's all you can do if you're signature. You just got to string some hits together. You got to try to have a multi-run inning here, even if you don't get them all back. You got to try to potentially make your 7th inning a little easier. And they're in the bottom of the 7th, 7-2 down there, 1 out. So that game looks like it's going to finish before this one.
What's it here? Let's get it out.
No, not a final, Amalia. There's 1 out down there, according to the scoreboard.
Way back over here.
Get the runner, just get the outs. Get the outs. Nope.
And you might have heard Red Davis telling his crew, don't worry about the runner, just grab an out here. Essentially, that's what you're doing. If you're money line, you're trying to get the last 6 outs of the ball game. And that's the one thing That's the one thing Robbie was doing well up to this point. He hadn't walked anybody. And now with nobody out, here comes Tyler McCullough. It's going to take a few more hits here for Signature to really climb back into the game, but that's how stuff starts. Reminds me of that scene in Moneyball when the Oakland A's were working on that long winning streak and a guy makes an error on a little routine ground ball. And the next thing you know, and it is a final now, Meatball City will advance and play Circus Saturday with a 7-2 win over Iron.
Robbie, you got to get here.
And that's a tall order because you see Dribble is on this side and Robbie's jumping to 3rd. So here's McCullough. You can't really expect your pitcher to necessarily get over here because he's got to drop into his hole. And McCullough throws a hit out there. Fleming scores. Still nobody out here, so Signature showing a little fight here in the 6th inning. And nice swing there by Tyler. And I was telling Patty Caputo when I first started really paying attention to Tyler that kid's not afraid of big situations. So still nobody out, 15-7. A couple of more hits here, and Signature might make this thing awful interesting.
Out here now, let's go.
And there's a strike.
Stay tough, kid. Stay tough now. Here we go.
5 feet behind.
Good.
And Manizzi slashes a hit.
Right here, right here, right here.
So bases are loaded. Nobody out. And Matty Dozen going to come out and try to settle things down a little bit. And it looks like Chris Carbonara is going to take a swing here for Brian Haas. And again, I'm very confused by the fact that Pick is still in the game here. Unless they slid Alan Mills in somebody else's slot, but they've used 3 pitchers and none of them have taken a swing in this game. So I may have to go on Game Changer and look at the box score and see if Moneyline was not paying attention.
Nobody out, man.
So here's Chris. And just so you know, our scorekeepers, if you do something hanky, they're not going to report it. That's on you, manager, or whoever your book guy is. So here's Chris, and hits a little roller, shuffle to Drabble, and they call the double play. Run does score. big stretch there by Ryan Drabel at first. Ganick to Drabel to Drabel.
Nice stretch, nice stretch. I guess so. I got a lot of up and down.
So that was awful close. But they score a run, but if your money line, you're okay with that, you'll take the out. And here's Pick. And Pick ground ball to Grisano, and that'll end it. We're going to head to the 7th.
Let's go. Hit again. Hit again. Let's go.
And if you're playing in the tournament, you should happen to be playing on Saturday. Please stay hydrated, kids. It's supposed to be very hot, and I know the tendency is guys want to have a couple of cold ones, but make sure you're drinking some water and some Gatorade, and let's make sure you're not getting dehydrated or sunstroke or anything crazy. So we head to the top of the 7th. Money line, a big number, 15 runs. And they have the heart of their order coming up. Jason Ganick, Robbie Grisano, and Ryan Drabel. And Signature has not been able to get
Another crooked number here, guys. Another crooked number.
this portion of their lineup out 1, 2, 3 all day. Oh, I believe Chad Hook is on Signature's SSA roster. Greg. So I'm not sure in Iowa what they do. They seem to always want your rosters late in the season. But if he's playing in Chicago until August, he would have to play with Signature. The exception being the no glove, because even though it's invitational and hard to get into that event, they basically have an open roster in that tournament. So here's Ganick, and he rifles a hit. And by the way, Brian Haas has re-entered. Now the ball gets away from Marston, and Ganick is going to cruise into 3rd. So Danny Marston went and made a slide trying to stop the ball, and it went through the 5-hole.
Come on, guys, let's have fun here.
You see Ganick hit it right on the screws. And once it got through, it was an easy stand-up triple. It brings up Grisano. I sound like a broken record, but every time he's come up, there have been RBI situations, and he's been delivering tonight. There's one of my favorite guys over there, Jake McTeague. Make sure you say hi to Marla for me. I didn't notice, but Donnie Rollins has rechecked into the game here.
Too high.
And Robbie tries to launch. G5 on his horse, gets there, but he drives it and drives in the run. So that's 2 runs as they pick up a little insurance, and they get the lead back up to 8. Still only 1 out, and here's Ryan Drabel. This is the last game. There have been a lot of balls hit right on the screws in this game, both teams. A couple of signature bobbles early really put money line in that free swing mode,
Only 1 out.
and they have been relentless. And they scored a lot of runs at the North-South. The only game they really didn't score a lot of runs is when they lost to Flashback in the winter bracket. And that was a 2-2 game, and then Flashback just went nuts. And it ended up, I want to say, 12-2, but and of course, Chad would be considered a major player, so he couldn't drop down and play in the No Glove A or the Class A out in Carroll Stream. And Drabel hits it on the screws. G5 had to jump up, but he makes the catch. 2 outs. And it brings up Brian Gannick. And Brian had a big hit, and the game was 7-6, and Moneyline was in the middle of boosting that lead back up to 6 that inning. So we will have at least one game tomorrow. We had a couple of teams drop out, so we only got 4 games tomorrow. And Flashback is playing, so Russ will not be available to live stream. So we'll try to show you at least one game tomorrow. And then on Saturday, with the heat, we'll have to play it by ear. Certainly show you some late day winter bracket games, I hope. I hope it'll cool off by then. And there's a little short flare. Spencer goes back, so do or die 7th. Finds Signature chasing an 8th spot. Need 8 to continue. 9 walks him off, anything less. And Moneyline will stay clean, and Signature will drop into the loser's bracket. Now, one of the teams that dropped out, I believe the loser of this game would have been playing the loser of that game. So the loser of this game actually catches a break, and they won't have to play that game on Saturday. And that's why, we hate it when teams drop out, because, it affects who plays who and how much energy teams are expending. And Danny Marston comes up and he goes big in a gap. It'll be no, he shut it down. Of course, chasing 8, you don't want to do anything crazy. So one out, one on here. And again, if you're money line, you're just chasing outs. A lot of times. And there's a ground ball, and they'll get the force out. And Nick kind of knew he wasn't going to get a lefty Mark Manizzi. Just did the courtesy lob in case Mark blew a tire or something. So, well, they're wrong on the scoreboard. The umpire's saying 1 out. So here's Mahoney. Very impressive first game for Moneyline. Continuing a lot of their hot hitting. And Mahoney drives it through the infield. Manizzi will get to 3rd. Little bobble out there. Run's going to score, and Mahoney will end up on 3rd.
Shake it, Nicky. Shake it, kid.
So 16-9 now. Brings up Scarlata. And if you're money line, you came in with a 8-run lead. And Signature pulls the miracle here.
The question is, how'd you get out that far?
Yeah.
Ian, help him.
So here's Scarlata. And Scar delivers a base hit. Very interesting. Mahoney knew if it dropped, he was going to score. And he just stayed planted. Just stayed planted on the
No one has to make the second out. Let's
bag there, knowing if it got caught, he'd tag and score. If it dropped, he would score. So 16 to 10. Still only one out here, and here's G5. As they're chipping away, Robbie telling his infield, good wheels, just get one. So Greg dancing around in the box, trying to throw Robbie off.
let it pull.
And Greg Fleming rifles it, but right at Davis. I think he caught that in self-defense. That ball was smoked. Davis at the last minute kind of jumped up. Looked like it might have buried into his shoulder. And that was wicked nasty.
Come on, it's the last one.
Davey, let's go.
Nick, your man, Nick. Not too deep. Not too deep.
Okay, here we go.
So Dave Navarro now.
Homer doesn't hurt us. Not too deep.
Signature down to the last out.
Come, Davey.
Just trying to extend the game for Tyler McCullough. And he swings, line drive to Brian Gannett. And that's how the game ends. So very impressive job by the Moneyline Club. And they hand the ball to Matty Dozen. So that's a big, big win. Everybody jockeying for buys at the No Glove. And that's a big win if you're Moneyline. So we hope you enjoyed the coverage of the two ball games tonight. Hang with us all weekend. If you're not doing anything tomorrow, come on out. Should be some good softball going on. The food's been good. They got cold beverages. And Richie Arico doing his normally great job. On behalf of the SSA broadcast and our entire team, George Bliss, Will Ross, and of course the great one, Jerry Brown. This is Gio saying we love you. Thanks for tuning in.